Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire. Most people thought they were husband and wife, and they was never married. But you could not pull them apart because their purposes had locked.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, that was a spiritual marriage on a plane. And if we begin to understand this, there is a gift in time that you will meet other soulmates that you will connect with, that God will join something together for a purpose to be birthed. Now, I've seen people pervert that, what I'm just sharing. But if you get into the high point of understanding, and I don't even know if I should call it spiritual marriage. Marriage is just such a mundane word on this plane, that it's a spiritual connection, like Jesus would take his disciples and send them out by two, and where you would think of Peter and John. Why do we keep coming up Peter and John? Peter and John. Or why would it always be coming up Moses and Aaron, Moses and Aaron? Or Jonathan and David, Jonathan and David. See, those are marriages. Paul and Silas. Marriage. Someone would take that and pervert it and say, well, that's homosexuality right there. Jonathan and David. David said he loved Jonathan. I mean, one of them said, Jonathan said his love for David has surpassed that of a woman. And if you don't watch that, you will miss the spiritual golden connection that is in someone's contract. Because you'll try to bring a relationship that was meant to work out a purpose into a perversion, so the purpose becomes twisted. And I don't even know how I traveled out there into this. But this is all part of understanding our contract. So you have a contract that you got to keep. You have not been sent here just to get knowledge from streaming and go to bed. Some of you have been sent here to keep underwriting. You know, I keep listening to Prophetess Masquerine sometime, and I sit there and listen. She says, God told me to bring $1,000. Every time in the service, I'm sitting there looking at this woman of God and saying, wow, God must have really told you that. And then she tells the story. She says before her mother died, she said her mother, and she was sharing with us in our kitchen the other day how Prophetess Deborah prophesied to her mother. We didn't even know we were prophesying to him right back then, about 20 years ago or so.
Yes, Mr.
Quoted. We were prophesying back then 20 years ago. We didn't even realize. We were just going around from churches, and when we went to church, prophesying, told her mother what to do. It says her mother told her, whatever you do not leave Bishop Jordan. Those are the last words her mother told her. So she said, I knew I'm a sign. So why were we traveling around all those years? Because that was part of our contract. Why did we take Bishop Jordan, why are you going to Buffalo? Because that's part of my contract. I know in my spirit I'm supposed to go to Buffalo. Amen. But how come they asked you the other day to go to a particular city, and then you said, nah, I won't be going there? Because when I looked over the contract, I couldn't find it at that time. It hadn't appeared, so it might not be the season. I'm trying to finish up my contract for 2009. I'm sitting here listening, and I'm starting to look at 2010. I like some of what I see in 2010, but now I'm sitting here saying, uh-oh, contract. We're right now looking, we've got to go back into Brooklyn. I didn't ever think I'd go back into Brooklyn. I'm not fighting it. I just never thought I would go back. Now we understand why some properties wouldn't sell. Because our contract. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of what we've got to do. And when we looked the other day, I said, how strange this is. We found our largest contingents of profits are in Brooklyn. How crazy is that? Tell me if that's not crazy. And I haven't forgotten about you, Atlanta. I'm coming to Atlanta. I am now beginning to see with clarity the purpose that God has for Atlanta. And I would tell you, the School of Prophets is going to be out of Atlanta.
Yes.
We know that. We already know that without a shadow of a doubt. But something else is getting ready to be bridged. Now, I can go metaphysically and say Brooklyn is the borough of kings. It was known as Kings County.
Yes, it is.
God's establishing something and getting us ready for something. And I say this with great respect, that there will be many prophets that will come this way that's never said they would come this way. Because it's in their contract. Just like there's some of you saying, I'm not making another pledge tonight. I'm sorry, baby, it's in your contract. The only sad thing about it is that you have until sunrise to say yes. The bad thing about it is when you get the book in your hand, because the book will come into your hands because it's in your contract, you'll look at it and say, you know, I should have been in this. And what will that feeling be? A feeling of regret. And then you'll be asking, Father, how do I make this up? And then you may sit there and say, well, you have to be in every book from now on. Because something you were supposed to get in that contract, at that moment, you just missed it. So now you're going to have to take the scenic route to get to a destination that would have been definite and sure. Okay, we are all connected. 212-316-2177. I want everyone to sow a seed tonight. I want everyone to sow a seed of $150 tonight. I just saw 150. For those of you that didn't get your 100 in, you need to do a 150 seed tonight. 150. 212-316-2177. I can't entertain your discussion in the chat room because y'all have missed the entire purpose of what Spirit was trying to get a hold of in you. Perhaps your mind was too young in your spiritual growth. That you are dwarfed you still missed